90 minutes seems significantly longer when we only get 75% of the content we expect each week from the challenge. Cow's a shark doo 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 doo, cow's a shark doo 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 doo. Hello and welcome back everyone to the video series dedicated show on MTV that likes both peaches and asparagus. That's right, we're talking about The Challenge, Season 36, Double Agents, Episode 11, and in this episode we learn that the T in Big T stands for tuna, as she is part fish. Of course, I know that is not true because it stands for Tula, but I just changed one of the letters to make it tuna because the fish comment. This is what the pairing of Gavin and Debbie would look like, and Josh would rather be a freak on a leash than a dope on a rope, and that's why he said no thank you to grabbing the rope in this daily challenge. But now let's start off where last episode left off, and that was everyone coming back to the challenge house after the elimination of Amber M, where it was Amber v Amber. Now, there's only one Amber left in the game, so now I don't have to remember the last initial, I can just say Amber, and she is super excited, but we see her having a conversation with Big T, where she is saying that she is happy that she has her gold skull, but she feels blindsided by Gabby. Speaking of Gabby, we have her regretting her decision not to go down into the elimination against Amber M, and they're chopping it up to a rookie mistake, where CT is then talking in the conversation, talking about how he needs to win a daily challenge because he's not gonna get thrown in unless he wins, which I love that rhyme scheme. So we have that going on. Let's go into the next morning where we have Josh talking to Nany about how he is knowing he's gonna have to go in at some point, but he is not scared to go into another elimination. And then we have this, like, I don't know, this love banter of Josh and Nany, where Josh is talking about how he's liking Nany a lot, and the more time he spends in the house, the more he's like having eyes for her. And then Nany's like shutting him down. Like she's like, look, we're totally family. So she's not even friend zoning him, she's family zoning him, and not in like a clueless type of way. This is like, it's a hard no. I don't know why this is in here, whether it's for comedic purposes or we're actually gonna see them like kiss later on in this game, but I highly doubt that. I think it's just for comedic purposes. And then we move on to CT and Big T having a workout session with each other, which I thought was really rather funny. And then before going into this week's daily challenge, we have Lolo talking to Darrell about how frustrated she is and how she doesn't feel like she's going to get a shot at a gold skull. Nobody's going to want to send her in. Nobody's going to want to see her in the elimination, let alone the final. And so she's thinking that this is all a waste of time. We even have a house meeting of people talking about Lolo and how she's feeling super frustrated by this. She is feeling like nobody is on her side. She's not getting along with her partner who's tethered to her. The Big Brother Alliance isn't listening to her. And the people that don't want to work with her are not going to work with her. So she's feeling super alone in this house, and she's feeling like there's no hope and there's no finish line, and she's kind of just wasting her time. And I don't really want to get too in depth with it because I am going to be talking about it later on in this video and in Friday's Italian Table Talk. But now let's move on to this week's daily challenge called Airlift. And in this daily challenge, what teams are going to have to do is that both parties of the duo are going to have to stand on top of this speedboat. Then there's going to be a helicopter swooping in with two ropes dangling down. You're going to have to jump on these ropes, ride the helicopter to a drop zone, drop it in to the zone. Once you're in the zone, then you have to swim to a floating platform, press a button, and your time will stop. Your time is pretty much your swim time. This is all cool aesthetics for a swim time. Now, I don't think we have to go too in-depth with each heat of this daily challenge. I think I'm just going to touch on the more important parts that I think are important and what I think were really blatant in this daily challenge. So we're going to go into who completed this daily challenge in order, and it was Leroy and Casey, Darrell and Amber, Cam and Kyle, Lolo and Nam, and Big T and CT. We had 3 DQs, and that was Josh and Nany, where Josh was trying to help Nany get on her rope and then totally blew past his own rope and then told Nany to let go of the rope, which made her fall into the water. And then I don't know what Josh was thinking. I guess he was thinking, oh, if Nany doesn't jump on the rope and ride this helicopter, we're going to be able to just swing the boat around, do a U-turn, and we'll be able to just go again. because he seemed pretty shocked that they were DQ'd, which, what did you expect? You didn't do the daily challenge. Of course you're gonna get disqualified. Fessy and Anissa, where they both get onto their ropes, and just as they jump off of the boat, holding onto only the rope, that's when Anissa just slowly drops into the water and they are disqualified. And then we move into Devin and Gabby, where Devin gets hit with instant karma and he pulls a Josh and does not even grab onto his rope. And this is particularly funny because he was giving Josh the hardest of hard times once they were back on dry land, talking about how he was a goof, he totally messed up, great performance and all that sarcasm, and then he completely drops the ball on his run as well. Let's move into some of the important parts that I saw, and that was Cam and Kyle. And throughout their run, they were talking a ton about how they love being partnered with each other. They don't want to be split apart. Kyle doesn't want anyone taking Cam away from him, and you can't split up the killas. It was really heavy-handed in this edit to make me think that at some point they're going to get split up. Maybe it's going to be sooner rather than later because of how heavy-handed they were in this episode with how much they love each other and how much they are loving to be partnered up with each other. And then we have Lolo and Nam's run, where Lolo is unable to blame Nam for their performance, so she blames her shoe falling off as creating drag, which I'm sure it does, but I mean, come on, it couldn't have been that much drag to make it blame all of it on the shoe. And also, I found it interesting because in the Aftermath show, Nam talked about how Lolo came to him before the daily challenge and said, "We have to win or I'm going home." And so this was already set in stone in Lolo's mind that she had to win this daily challenge or she was probably gonna piece out of this joint. But Big T and CT come into this going last and they absolutely destroy this challenge. They kill it, and a lot of people are saying wow to Big T's performance because she kills this one. I mean, she gets in that water, she outswims CT in the swim. She gets to the platform first, and she's talking about how she was on a swim team growing up and she didn't want to say anything because she might be rusty. And then she talked about how she got grip strength because she did pole dancing lessons, which I like CT after she said all that because CT was like, man, I've been training for these all wrong. And CT was super excited and they easily win this thing. TJ on dry land tells them that they are the winner and that they will be the double agents, and CT is already thinking, it's a guy's day, Corey's a rogue agent, I'm gonna send myself in regardless. Now I'm gonna have to try to get what I want and who I want to see in the elimination. So we go back to the house and Lolo is breaking down. She is frustrated. She says she doesn't think she can do this anymore, and she just walks away from Nam, who seems frustrated and upset as well. CT is going around the house campaigning the best he can to get Josh into the elimination. Let's make Josh the house vote. I'll go up against Josh, get my gold skull, and then he's trying to sweeten the deal by telling everybody that, hey, give me what I want and I'll stay with Big T, and you don't have to worry about me for the rest of the game. So everyone's thinking about it, but then we move to the party scene, which I have to say, give props to this party scene. I actually felt like the party scene was super fun and exciting this episode. They're playing Flip Cup, they're dancing around. I love the music choice, I love the montage. But after we get done with the montage, that's when we have Leroy and Nany talking, and Leroy gives Nany the heads up that CT is running around the house telling everyone to vote in Josh. Vote in the goof, give me the goof. And that's when Leroy's like, what if we throw in Devin? CT and Devin are working very close with each other, and that's one number on their side of the house that leaves the game. And so Nany's thinking, yeah, I'm cool with that. We move into Devin and Amber talking and squashing the beef, and Gabby sees this in the party and is super upset with Devin, and they have a fight about it later on. But Devin is trying to grab up numbers, smooth any rough edges out so that he can get more numbers on their side for this vote, because they're going to need every number that they can get. However, it falls on deaf ears here. Amber is clearly in with the Big Brother Alliance. She's going to vote however they vote, but it's better for Devin to try to smooth things out because he knows his name is on the line here. We move into the next morning where Leroy is talking to Josh and everybody, giving Josh the heads up that, hey, CT is going around saying your name and trying to give you the heads up. But Josh is feeling comfortable in his numbers. He feels like he has a lot of people having his back in this game, in this house, and he's not too worried about it. But then we have on the other side of the house, we have Devin, CT, and Kyle talking about how they desperately need to get Josh as the house vote, because after this vote, this is going to decide the numbers within the house. Like, this house is split. This is a clean divide within this game. And right now, Darrell is the swing vote. CT is feeling that, hey, I don't know where Darrell's head is at in this game. Yes, he is partnered up with Amber and with the Big Brother people, but I've known him for so long. This should be like a friendship, OG, let's go way back kind of thing, and I hope he has my back, and that's what they're hoping for. We move into this week's Deliberation, where Corey is the mediator, and they let it be known that Josh is the person that CT wants to go up against in the elimination. But at this point, there's no question in anybody's mind that CT is going to throw himself into the elimination, especially if it's between Josh and Devin. I mean, how many times is CT going to be able to throw himself in? So he knows, and everybody knows, that he's going to throw himself in. And that's when Josh speaks up and he's like, look, I trust everybody who I'm aligned with. I trust everybody that has my back, and I'm not going to worry about it. That's when Devin does his best to play the layup card and says, hey, if you throw me in, I'm most likely going to leave the game, and then you're going to be having CT in the finals, and why not just save me for yourselves? It kind of works, but kind of doesn't, as we go into this week's voting, and it feels as though that it's really between Josh and Devin, and Darrell comes down to the swing vote, and when CT and Big T get into the secret deliberation, that's when they see that the compromised agents are Gabby and Devin, and they pinpoint Darrell as the vote. And that's when, after the secret deliberation, CT and Big T give their side of the house the news that it is Gabby and Devin as the compromised agents. They are all pissed, and as they are frustrated, that's when we move over to see Josh crying about having friends. Well, guess what? Why don't you brag about having friends? Why don't you? I'm just kidding. But I'm just saying, he's just crying. We're getting this moment of how he's feeling so emotional. He's so happy that he has friends within the house that has his back, that he can feel he can trust in this game. We have then Lolo leaving the game, and she is basically calling the challenge a waste of time. That yes, she would like $1 million, but she feels it's a waste of time. There is no hope in this game for her. That she feels that when the going gets tough, hey, let's just get going. And she says, peace out, everybody. Thank you for letting me come here for a couple of weeks, but I'm outie. And at one point, she makes the comment that all of her training led up to this, and then she just leaves. I mean, this is what I expected when I saw her on the cast, that nobody was going to want to go up against her. And then to see her leave, I mean, I'm actually pretty surprised that she is quitting, because I thought she would stick it out and try her hardest, and I'm sure she did try her hardest, but I mean, this is a mentally challenging game as well as physical, and she wasn't cutting it physically in the daily challenges, and she didn't cut it mentally within the game and in the house politics. There's a question in everybody's mind as we get closer and closer to the elimination and everybody heading off to the crater about what's going to happen, because now there's technically 2 rogue agents. There's Nam and there's Corey now as the rogue agent, and we're heading into an elimination that is supposedly a men's day. And so speaking of this elimination, everybody's heading into the crater, and we get to seeing what Cam and Ashley went into the elimination in, but this time there is no rings, and it seems as though that the poles are very much further away from the pedestal, and they have puzzle pieces, not rings. So it looks as though that they're going to have to collect puzzle pieces and then put together a puzzle. CT and Devin are both good puzzle masters. Will CT want to go up against Devin in the puzzle? We're going to have to wait and see next week, because this is a cliffhanger. Once TJ announces that the compromised agents are Gabby and Devin, they come down to join TJ, and before TJ can even say another word, that's when a security breach comes on the board and everyone is shocked, and then a dark screen as we head into another commercial, and then we have the sneak peek for next week's episode and the credits. So that is it for this episode. I am super frustrated that we had a 90-minute episode and we did not get an elimination. Like, we got so much other stuff, and the commercials seem so much more and so much longer in this week's episode because we did not have a single elimination, and some of the house stuff was very much superfluous. I have no idea why we had to have yet another cliffhanger with the security breach. This was put into last week's sneak peek, and now we're having it again as the cliffhanger. And it just feels like this better be earth-shattering security breach news for next week, because if it is anything different, then I think I will pull my hair out, because this is just ridiculous. Oh my gosh, when you have an episode of 90 minutes and no elimination, I think that's the most frustrating thing. I think I was frustrated when we used to have 60-minute episodes and no elimination, but now we're having 90 minutes and no elimination. Like, do not let this become the norm from here on out. I mean, we better get 2 eliminations next week, or I legit will pull out some hair. But that is it for this episode. What did you think about this week's daily challenge? Let me know that in the comment section below. What did you think about Josh and Devin DQing in the same way? Let me know that in the comment section below. What do you think about the compromised agents being Devin and Gabby? Do you think Darrell made the right move voting with the Big Brother Alliance? Let me know that in the comment section below. And what do you think the security breach is going to be? I have to ask that question yet again. But what do you think the security breach is going to be? And what do you think about Lolo piecing out of this joint and leaving the challenge house the way she did? Let me know that in the comment section below. But thank you so much for watching. While you're down there, hit that like and subscribe button. I'll be back really soon with more challenge content, more content in general. But until then, peace.